Hey everyone, it's Jaron and Mike from Fstoppers.com, and it's been a few hours since we heard about the new Adobe Creative Cloud, about the whole direction that they're going, and we've been reading the tweets and following the conversation, and there seems to be a little bit of controversy about where Adobe's going with their new software, and one of the major things is no more disks. And Mike has an interesting opinion on this matter because we've been discussing it all day, and so the people who complain that there's no more disks, what do you have to say to that?
Well, I mean, it's the future, and you got to get on the train. Everything is going towards cloud-based computing and cloud-based licensing and cloud-based. We could look at Google Drive. Word documents in the cloud. It's only a matter of time until all of our Photoshop files and Illustrator files are going to be worked on from the cloud, and this is Adobe's first step into...
Yeah, I mean, like the Premiere, for example, the whole idea, there's a new part of Premiere where you're allowed to get to your files, your media files, from anywhere, and the fact you can access your own, your settings from anywhere, any computer that you're on. Mm-hmm. It's huge in that respect.
And the way that they've integrated all their different programs into the cloud, and I don't know if you've all seen yet, but they have this, their Project Mighty, which is their pen. I know a lot of guys are using, the Wacom tablets for, retouching and illustrating and all that. What Adobe has done is taken that and integrated it into the cloud, so no matter where you are, you have access to your files. You have a creative spark in the middle of nowhere. You can take out your Mighty pen or whatever they decide to call it, and you can get to work and access your files from anywhere. It's basically the most advanced little notepad that you can have. Just jot down ideas and have access to every little last one of your files right at your on your iPad at your fingertips.
Well, Mike, I'm going to play devil's advocate here and say, what if I just bought CS6? Well, I bought it last week or something like that.
I personally just got CS6 a couple months ago, and it sucks, but honestly, I mean, it's technology. It's going to happen. What if you bought a brand new iMac and a month later they come out with a new one?
I mean, that actually happened to me.
It's the way it is. It's what happens to everyone. And I think the only people who are really complaining about this are people who A, pirate the software, or people who B, are not total working professionals and are invested and are not completely invested in the system. I mean, for me, I use Photoshop every single day. It's such a no-brainer to not have to think about, licensing, update discs. I don't have the clutter in my house of another set of freaking discs. Is amazing. I'm excited about it,
Yeah, and the fact that the updates are going to come immediately. As soon as they come up with something, it's immediately there for you. They push it immediately to the cloud.
Yeah.
The whole integration to social, to Behance, that's kind of cool. Mm-hmm. We knew that something was coming when they bought Behance, and this is basically what we thought was going to happen.
And it's almost on top of, you mentioned Behance, and immediately it's turning, digital art into a collaborative sort of medium. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but with the integration of Behance, you can instantly take your files and get instant feedback from people around the world, which I think is really cool. It's turning our individual workstations into a collaborative environment, which is only possible with the new Creative Cloud system. So I think that's really, really cool. And yeah, that's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I mean, I am totally in love with where the cloud is going. I like Adobe and where their processes are. The people who say it's a money grab, they're trying to get more out of us. I'm not convinced that this is really a money grab.
And I mean, let's get real. There's probably a fraction of a percentage of people who are going to be negatively impacted by this. People are crying because I'm not on the internet all the time. I'm like, then what are you doing? Where are you working? Are you at Antarctica or something?
It's not always online. It's not like what people are expecting out of the new games. Like SimCity is always online. People hate that. You don't have to be online.
Right.
It works. And you know what? If you're complaining that CS6 is now outdated, it is still a phenomenal piece of software.
An unbelievable piece of software. I mean, I was using CS3 until 2 months ago, and I did just fine. I mean, does CS6 have a couple perks? Yes, but like people have said, garbage in, garbage out. You gotta start with a good product. Yeah. Photoshop can only make it so much better. All the basic tools are still there. In a way, it's I mean, sure, all the neat little gizmos and gadgets are fun to have, but are they gonna make your photos any better? Questionable.
Yeah.
Dubious.
You gotta start with something.
You gotta start with something good.
Right.
So yeah, like you said, I'm so looking forward to this. I'm really excited about the whole thing.
So, Now I'm sitting with Rebecca Britt, who I would say is our resident expert on Adobe After Effects, Adobe Premiere, and there's a lot that's going on with that side of what happened today too. So Rebecca, let us know what your thoughts are on how that went.
There's a lot in the keynote that they didn't cover that I was surprised that they didn't cover. For instance, Premiere is getting a totally redesigned timeline for those of you that want a cleaner, sleeker look, which I think is amazing. It's going to have clear places where you can find the beginning and ending of your media. What also they didn't talk about was link and locate, which is an awesome feature for those of you that tend to move your files around. And then obviously in Premiere, you can't find your files and they seem lost. This way it'll be easier to find and relink into your timeline. Of course, they did go after, in After Effects, they did talk about the rotoscoping feature, which I think was absolutely amazing. And it's going to revolutionize the way that you do video.
Right, if you watched it live, you saw them actually do some of that, and you might be thinking to yourself, well, that actually looks kind of crummy. Keep in mind, they did that in about 3 minutes. So that was actually outstanding.
Yeah.
They did in 3 minutes.
Yeah, so if you actually were to take a little bit of time, I mean, the world is your oyster when it comes to
like
rotoscoping.
the normal amount of time you would take on it, like it was just it's total workflow change.
Yeah, so instead of, for those of you that did not hear, with rotoscoping, it's kind of like compositing, but in After Effects. So instead of having to go frame by frame to pull a subject out of the background, now it's through clips. So you don't have to sit there and spend 4 hours on one clip. You literally spend just a few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that was great. So,
Yeah.
I mean, a lot to look forward to. We're happy about the changes that Adobe's making. We look forward to more from them. And if for more information on all things Adobe and all things photo and video, keep it tuned to fstoppers.com.